Hello and what is going on, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are out on beautiful Highway 28, and we're actually at one of my favorite overlooks right now. I'm going to spin the camera around so you can see, like, way off in the distance, the sun's in my eyes, but way off in the distance, there's that lake back there, which the lake, if I'm forgetting the name of the lake right now, sorry, it's completely gone from my mind. But what I wanted to talk about is this guy behind me right here, the M3, and why it was in the shop again. Now, the whole reason for it being in the shop is kind of weird, because the first time it was in the shop, I made a video explaining to you guys why. The whole reason it was in the shop the first time was due to the idler pulley basically seizing up, ejecting itself off of the shaft that holds it on, and then from that point the belt got shredded. And while we were in there, we did new idler pulley, obviously. We did a couple of other pulleys. We did new belt, and we did a new AC belt. We also did a water pump and a thermostat. New water pump and new thermostat, because that's something else you kind of want to handle on the S54. And the next thing that went out, and the reason why it was in the shop this past time, was because the fuel pump failed. And the weird thing is, it was like a no symptom failure. The car drove just fine, no big deal, no issues. And then ended up taking a friend of mine to go look at a car, and we pulled into the dealership, no problem, shut the car off, went and looked at this other car, and then came back out, started the car up, and it died off again immediately. So we tried that like 3 or 4 more times, and I was like, okay, well, it seems like it's not getting fuel, right? It sounds like it's not getting fuel. So had it towed over to Royalty Performance, and they looked into it, and they got back in touch with me, and they were like, yeah, so it is a fuel issue, you were right. And what ended up going wrong is the fuel pump. So the fuel pump was actually like inside the hanger, but it had separated from the hanger for some reason. I have no idea how that actually happened, but there's a new pump and hanger assembly in the tank now, and so far all of that is fine. It's doing just fine. So far on this car, we've handled the entire fuel pump assembly. We've done the water pump, the thermostat, the belt, the main belt, and most of the other pulleys that are known to go out. And that's about it, but we've updated a lot of the maintenance on the car, because I think the previous owner may have, like, I mean, I'm sure he did the oil changes and stuff like that, but like, it seems that he may have like skipped a couple of other maintenance items. So we'll hopefully we've handled most of the main things at this point. But like I said, we're up here and it's absolutely gorgeous today. So we're actually going to make our way over to Tail of the Dragon. We're gonna hang out there for the day, and I'm gonna bring you guys with me, and hopefully show you guys any other cool cars, and maybe even cool bikes that I find. So, oh, I hear something right now. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna flip the camera around. Well, we're up on the Dragon now. We're a bit towards the north end. The overlook is like right back there, a couple turns back, and we're just sitting here hanging out at one of the pull-offs. And in a little bit, I'm gonna actually do a couple flybys for you guys at the car, but we're also gonna see if we can like spot anything. There hasn't really been anything crazy up here that I've seen so far yet today. Like the last time I was here, like if you saw on my Instagram, you saw that crazy ute that I actually saw, which was like, it was a Pontiac G8 conversion into a ute. So it's still really, really cool. Really, really cool stuff. So we're gonna hang out, we're gonna see what we can see, we're gonna see what we can catch on the camera. And also, while I am talking about that, I do kind of want to say that as far as you know, going over my experience with this car, because I've owned it for probably 2 months now-ish, and I want to kind of go over my experience with it and tell you guys what I think. First of all, driving experience. It's an absolute blast to drive. It has torque, it has top end, it has pretty much whatever you would want almost anywhere in the rev range. Now, it does really wake up at about 5, but even below that, it's got really good torque. Now, Suspension-wise, the stock suspension is a little light and a little floaty compared to, like, if you're used to driving like an S2000 on coilovers, it definitely does feel just a little bit floaty, but that's probably also due to the fact that the suspension is old. I mean, it's from 2002, so it's probably a little bit worn out, but I would really like to kind of fix that up, so we'll see how that goes. But, large. Oh, get off the yellows, buddy. Like, bruh, why are you on the double yellow line? The double yellow line is a wall. It is interesting, though, how I'm up here on a Monday, and by far the, like, I guess you would call it dominant party today on the road is cruiser bikes. And I'm not sure why that would be a thing on a Monday. It just seems like it is. Fastest thing here all today. As you can tell, we moved spots. We're way closer to the south end now. Let's see if we can catch anything interesting coming by. To be honest, it makes sense why you wouldn't see a lot of people out here on a Monday afternoon. But if you ever get the chance to come to the Dragon on a Monday afternoon, do it, because, like, there's pretty much nobody here. Like, it's awesome coming here to, like, in what I would call off time. It really, really is. I'll stay here for a little bit longer and see if I can catch anybody going by. By the way, I did put this on because I was getting a little chilly. You can see Xbox right there. But this, they actually sent this to me along with a lot of other really, really cool Forza Horizon 4 stuff. If you want to see some of that, you can check it out on my Instagram, which the link will be in the description below for that. But yeah, no, dude, this thing, like, is awesome. It was like, the box was winter themed, and of course, you know, the box was winter themed, but it was actually, and it arrived at my place right when the winter season started in game, so it was like really, really well timed. And then they actually, the other thing that they sent, actually, they had, like, they called it like fake snow. It was basically like, I think it was ground up packing peanuts, I think, but it was like, it gave this like illusion of snow, which was kind of cool. But, oh, sounds like something else is coming. Maybe it'll be cool. We'll see. Yeah, we should probably start getting ready to head back. Like, not quite head back, but like start to head back, if you know what I mean. Ugh. Oh, you know what I gotta do though? I gotta take this jacket off first because this thing is massive. See if I can do this with the camera in my hand. It'll be a challenge, but all right, that's one side. That's one side. See if we can get the other side. Oh. And got it. Now this has to go in the passenger seat. Oh God, it's huge. Sorry. And there we are. Okay. Trying to do that while holding a camera is mildly difficult. It's worth it, but it's mildly difficult. Alright. And we should be good to go. Well, we're on our way back now, and right now we're down on 28, and just kind of right where 28 starts, kind of like they call it Hellbender 28. But I do have to, forgive me, I have to shift with my other hand, but because I didn't bring my mount today, which was a silly idea on my part to think I wouldn't need my mount. But anyways, had an awesome day up here. I mean, kind of like, you know, as usual, right? You know, it's kind of hard to not have a great day when you come up here, But especially, you know, when you come up here in something like an E46 M3, I mean, hell, even if it's a stock E46 M3, you know, this one is pretty much stock except for a header and an exhaust, but like, it's still a blast, you know. And it's one of those areas, like, especially if you've never been, you know, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not do it if you've never been? But I got some bikes behind me and I'm just cruising right now and like talking to the camera, so I'm gonna let the bikes go and I will be back with you guys in a second. But anyways, guys, yeah, I do apologize if the focus is a little funky right now on the camera. I tried to like get it to be where I wanted it to be, but it keeps kind of fighting with me, so I suppose it's gonna be a little temperamental right now. But anyways, I let the bikes go, and like I said, because I'm kind of vlogging, but no, I let the bikes go and just kind of do their own thing. There's a dude in front of me in a Dodge truck that's like all over the double yellow line, and this road 28, I mean hell, like this is the same way on the Dragon, but 28 as well. Your lane itself is actually really wide, so there's no excuse to cross over the center line and get in the other person's lane. There's really not. Like, if you're crossing over and getting in the opposite lane, it's not even worthwhile. Like, what are you doing? Every time you go over the center line, you know, you're like, oh, it doesn't matter, but you're actually like creating a massive hazard for anybody coming the other way, because you don't know what kind of pace they're going to be carrying coming the other way. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, people are like, well, I can get back in my own lane if I need to. Well, not necessarily if the person coming the other way, you know, is really booking it, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I'm not like condoning anything, but at the same time, if you cross the double yellows, you really don't know, you know what I'm saying? You genuinely don't know if there's gonna be like a sport bike coming the other way, you know, with their knee down, you know, like fully committed in a corner. And I know that there's that argument of like, oh, well, why are they committed to that level on the street anyway? Well, whether or not they're committed to that level on the street, like whether or not you agree with that, there's like, whether or not you agree with that, that doesn't give you a reason to, or make you right for crossing yellows, because they might still be there doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether or not you agree with it, there's like, you know, people are still gonna do it. So it is kind of what it is. And, you know, you have to think about that before you blow the double yellow line. So it's definitely something I'm big on, and it's definitely something I'm big on with a lot of mountain drivers in general. So I don't mention it a lot, especially in videos. But when I do mention it in videos, it's kind of one of those things where I don't mean to harp on it or anything, like, or talk about it for like a continuous amount of time. But yeah, I don't tend to like harp on it or continue on it for like, you know, hang on it for a continuous amount of time or a long amount of time. But it's one of those things that I think does need to be like actually brought up and mentioned, because like I see videos all over the place of people, you know, doing like mountain runs or toge runs or whatever, and I see, you know, videos of people just crossing yellows without any kind of, you know, without any kind of regard for what might be coming the other way. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, either the two biggest things I see are, well, if I don't cross yellows, I can't keep up. And, oh, if I don't cross the yellows, then, well, like, oh, I can see the other way. You know what I'm saying? I talked about being able to see the other way earlier, like see far enough in the opposite direction. And like, sure, maybe there's a couple places where you can see like a mile ahead, whatever. But most corners that look like you can see far enough ahead, you can't actually see far enough ahead. Does that make any sense? And I know there's going to be people that are rolling their eyes back in their heads right now, like, oh my god, shut up. Like, of course you can see far enough ahead. And I'm sure there are corners out there where you can see far enough ahead. But the majority of corners, you don't really realize how quickly somebody could be coming the other way. So it kind of makes it like one of those scenarios where, like, yeah, you might be able to see them and move if they're going 20, but what about if they're going 60? So it's one of those things where it's like, do you actually want to, like, you know, put yourself in the opposite lane for the chance of you getting hit, but also, you know, slamming into somebody? That's another big thing. You know, it's like, why would you put yourself in that position in the first place? But, you know, that's, oh god, potholes. Swerve around the potholes. But anyways, I'm gonna stop harping on that for now because again, I've gone on about it for long enough, I think. And oh my God, why are you braking? Why are you braking? Like literally every single time that this guy sees a motorcycle coming in the opposite direction, like he slows down by like 10 miles an hour. I don't understand that. And he's already going, like, he's not even barely going the speed limit, so he slows down to like 10 under every time he sees a motorcycle coming the other way. I don't really get that. I don't really get that, so I guess it's just one of those weird things. But if we don't do any more segments in this little video, in this vlog, then I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, make sure you subscribe for more. Click that like button if you enjoyed it. Leave a suggestion in the comment section below if you would like to. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. See y'all later.